You don't belong here. The man at table 7 didn't even look up from his plate as he said it. His voice was flat, like swatting away a fly. Just bring me the wine and stop talking. I froze, the tray in my hand trembling. I wasn't supposed to talk to customers unless they spoke first. That was the rule. But I had spoken first. I'd seen his name on the reservation list and recognized it. Mr. Preston! The same Mr. Preston who fired my father 2 years ago without so much as a handshake after 20 years of service. Still, I forced a smile. Of course, sir. My chest burned as I walked away. The restaurant was full tonight. Crystal glasses clinking, quiet jazz playing in the background, the smell of seared salmon in the air, but all I could feel was the weight of his presence. The man who had humiliated my father was now sitting in my section, sipping wine like nothing had ever happened. I kept telling myself, it's just another table. Just another shift. But then his voice cut through the air again. Waiter, this is too warm. Get me another bottle. The bottle he was drinking from was $250. Every wasted drop felt like an insult to the hours I worked to pay my rent. But I nodded and took it away, swapping it for a fresh one. When I returned, he smirked. Do you even know anything about wine? Or do they just hire anyone who can carry a tray? His friends laughed. I felt the blood drain from my face. I wanted to tell him who I was. I wanted to tell him exactly what kind of man he really was. But my manager's voice echoed in my head. One complaint from a high-value guest, and you redone. So I swallowed my pride. Halfway through the night, the kitchen was slammed, orders were late, and Mr. Preston was growing impatient. This is pathetic, he muttered, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Service like this. No wonder the economy's falling apart. My hands tightened around my notepad. That's when the memory hit me. 2 years ago, my father came home early from work, his shoulders hunched like a man carrying a mountain. They said I'm too old to keep up, he told me. He had worked for Preston's company for 2 decades, trained dozens of younger employees, and never missed a deadline. But when budget cuts came, they pushed him out without severance, without thanks. And Mr. Preston had been the one to sign the paper. That night, I watched my father stare at a blank TV screen for hours. His spirit didn't break all at once. It cracked slowly, day after day. And now, the man who caused it was insulting me in front of strangers. By dessert, the table was buzzing with laughter, wine, and arrogance. One of his friends said, Preston, tell that story about firing that guy. What was his name? The one who begged you to stay. Something inside me snapped. I leaned down, my voice low but steady. That was my father. The table went silent. Mr. Preston's eyes darted up to mine, confusion flashing across his face. His friends shifted uncomfortably. That's he, stammered. I didn't give him time to finish. He gave your company 20 years. You gave him a cardboard box. For a second, all I heard was the faint clinking of cutlery in the background. Then I straightened, took the bill from my pocket, and placed it on the table. Your wine is on the house. Consider it. Severance. I turned and walked away before he could say another word. My chest felt lighter, my hands steady. I didn't care if I was fired. For the first time in 2 years, I felt like I had given my father something back, his dignity. The next morning, my manager called me into his office. My stomach twisted, but instead of a termination letter, he handed me something else. A handwritten note. It was from Mr. Preston. It read, I was wrong. About your father. About you. I can't undo the past, but I'd like to meet and make things right. I didn't know if my father would ever forgive him. But as I walked out of that office, I realized something. Sometimes the loudest statement isn't shouted in anger. It's spoken in truth. Moral: never let disrespect go unanswered. Not with rage, but with the kind of truth that forces people to see themselves clearly. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.